Hello folks and welcome to our third OMG Moments video. Kirsty, what are we going to cover? I say we. What are you going to show the good people
Yeah,
today?
what am I going to do? This is OneNote.
Alright, so
Do you,
we've told people about what OneNote is. Do you want to share your screencast? And let's just have just a few minutes to keep these short and sweet. A few minutes to show people what we can do.
okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
But again, I know I keep saying it, but there is actually something else I need to mention before we do get started.
Oh, here we go. Right, hang on a second. I've pulled the dead leaf off the plant.
Yeah, I
My
noticed that. Well
Christmas
done.
tree's gone. I've put some
Yeah.
gel in my hair.
Well, if you look behind you, what can you see?
I can see some Lego.
Yeah.
What about the Lego?
Nothing yellow that's dying.
Hang on. If I move my head in a way that you can't see. Okay, so the daffodils are in the process. Put that video back off you. Right.
Look.
Okay. They're in the process of being dried, obviously. Right.
That is a
I need to
complete
check this.
man thing to
Right.
say, isn't it? Well, actually, no, it's not. Who talks about drying flowers?
I don't
I
know.
think you did that in the 1960s, didn't
Right.
we?
I'm making my homemade potpourri. Right, Kirsty. I'm going to just cut this out of the video if this carries on. OneNote.
Okay, OneNote. So the first thing is then, and I know that you wanted this one included, was meeting details.
Yep.
This is quite handy if, for example, you want to perhaps go to a meeting, you're going to use your OneNote digital notebook and you want to record or what happens in the meeting. So you can type in your meeting notes, but what you can also do is you can add in your meeting details. Now, my calendar is not very busy. As you can see, it might say that you've got no meetings today, but what you can do is you can choose a meeting from another day. Or if you've been in OneNote for quite some time and you're sharing your OneNote notebook, then what you can do is refresh, because please keep in mind, if you are going to share a OneNote notebook, people might be doing things in the background and you're not aware that information has been uploaded into OneNote. So it's always wise to refresh if you're using a group notebook. Do you do that, Mark?
Yeah, in fact, I just told someone about this yesterday about syncing and actually not refreshing, but also just syncing on the way in and away. People have trouble with the synchronization of notebooks, don't they? So I often get them to sync on
Yeah.
the way in and sync on the way out. But yes, it'll all refresh. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to choose a meeting. Now, obviously, I've got the weekend, so I didn't do a lot. But as you can see, I go to the gym, so I need to put that in. That could be a reason for me that I need to remind me. It could be that this could be a formal meeting, but let's just use this one for the time being. So if I now select that, what that will do, once I insert my details, will then add that meeting details into a frame, and I can drag and I can move that frame around. But what I can do is I obviously can see the subject, I can see the date, I can see the location. I can also, if I want to, click here and that would take me to the original Outlook item. I can also then click onto invitation message. So if there was some blur about this particular invite and everybody had a lot of information about where the meeting invite was, what we need to discuss, that would allow me to see that information if I expand. And then the very last one is participants. Now that's really useful. At the moment, I'm the only participant. But you imagine if this meeting was for about 10 people, all 10 people will be listed below. And then what you can do is you can go to the attendance box. You can go
Will
to
you
the,
stop showing your email address? That creates
I
loads of money.
know,
I need to fuzz that over now. Stop
I
doing that,
know,
Kirsty.
sorry. But I do need some friends. So if you want to keep it up, by all means do. Um, that's a joke, by the way. And then what I can do is I can then click onto the attendance box, and what that will do is put a tick in. So then I can record everybody who's attending that meeting. So that's the one that you wanted included, Mark.
Yeah, okay. So I use this literally every day. So we work with different clients, and I like to keep notes. Right? I just want to show people how I use it? Are you okay just to click a button while I talk through it?
You can do, but there's not going to be a lot there.
Okay, on the right hand side where it says add page,
Hmm.
just add a new page over there for me.
Yeah.
So let's add page. Okay, now do your meeting details again and pull in that meeting. And the thing I like about this, folks, is that this is now going to it's going to make the subject of the page the title. Now, where it says meeting date, instead of date and time, I want you to copy that for me. copy that, and then paste it in front of the H of the hit. Okay, good. Pop it. Now look on the right hand side now, and I'll zoom in on this, Kirsty. So when I've had, say, 15 meetings with a certain group, I can see the date and the time of the meeting, I see what the title is, and for me, just keeping, I mean, in 6 months' time, people say, what did you agree with so-and-so? It takes me 2 seconds to go back, and that works really well for me. I do that literally every day. But thank you, Kirsty.
Okay, thank you for that.
What else you got for
The
us? Oh,
well,
go on
the
then.
only thing is, I would go against that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, we rarely
Purely
agree, Kirsty, so that's
No, I know,
fine.
I know. The reason being is that was quite a bit of work, and I do like that because you can visually see it on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So I do believe that
Well,
is good.
those 4 clicks were quite a bit of work.
Well, yes, hold on, because the reason being is what you could have also do is use your search, and I don't
Yeah.
think people use this enough.
Mhm.
So I could have literally clicked into this search here, typed in HIIT, and that would come up with everything in that was
Yeah.
in those pages. So if I had multiple pages also with that in, that would bring those up.
But
And
but
then
but look at the results. Because you did that thing that I asked you to do, it shows you the date and the time of the meeting and the results without having you have to go in to check it.
it does, it does. I'm not saying that it's not bad, it's not good, it's not how I would use it. And I think this is how we need to look at OneNote, is that, or any application in
Oh,
Microsoft, and I agree with this, that my way is different to
yeah.
your way and vice versa. I don't think any way is right or
No.
wrong. I wouldn't do that. But now looking at it, think, yeah, I probably would. But I think I'm so used to now
Yeah.
searching, I think I would do it that way.
You're
That's
right.
all I was trying to say.
Yeah, you're right. So the searching weight, so Microsoft is much more about searching nowadays rather than knowing where stuff is, like in the old days. But that's a really good point, Kirsty. Whenever we've done training on a OneNote in the past, you can show people how to do something. But in reality, we all work in so many different ways. That's the beauty of
Mm.
OneNote. And it's almost what puts people off it, is that it's so flexible and there's so many things to know. Is that you need to, but once people know how to use OneNote, then they apply it in a different way. I
Mm.
can speak to 10 people and they'll be doing something different with it, won't they?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The reason also why I'm very bad is that I've got about 12 notebooks. I've got group notebooks. I've got different personal notebooks. So the concern is, where is it? Where did I put this information? Was it in this notebook or that notebook? So because I use multiple notebooks, this is probably why I use the search more. Because if I go on the right-hand side and click onto this little drop-down arrow, and I will warn you, you will need to go to Specsavers, but if I click onto that down arrow, what I can do is I can search for this notebook or all notebooks. So if I've lost some information, let's imagine this particular meeting, and I can't remember what notebook, it doesn't matter because I can search for it in all notebooks.
Yeah. Kirst,
And
do,
that's
do
why.
me a favour, Kirst. Click on the history tab at the top. I don't know whether you were.
Yeah, we haven't finished that. Bear with me on that
Oh,
because I want to
sorry,
do something
sorry,
else.
sorry, sorry, sorry.
That's all right.
I was just going to
Sorry.
expand on what you were saying. Actually,
Go on
you
then.
you were talking about how good the search is on here. The search, the search in OneNote is amazing. If you know anything about what you're looking for, based on time, the words, the people who might have done it, whether you want to look in one page or every OneNote you got access to, the search is incredible, isn't it? In OneNote, you can find.
It
I think
is.
I think once you know how to search, you can find anything.
Yeah, it is very, very good. Very
Sorry,
good.
Kirsty, you go ahead. I'm going to try not to interrupt you
That's
this
all
time.
right. Don't worry. Don't worry. So we might as well carry on and stay in history then. So there's three features that I use in history a lot, and the first one is recent edits. Now that's a really handy one. So, and I'm sure this is the one that you were going to talk about, but this is where if you've been on leave for 2 weeks, the last thing I want to do is to have to go through my notebook in order to find out what's been updated in that notebook since I've been away on leave. So what I can do, and I have to say, I think this should be in every Microsoft application. If I now click onto recent edits, that can now allow me to choose what I want to see. So if I have been on that vacation for 14 days, click onto that and that will then show me everything and it highlights it in yellow. It will give me a pane on the right hand side here of the screen and it will show me exactly what's been done in the last 2 weeks. And if I click onto any one of those, it will take me to that notebook, take me to that page, and it will highlight in yellow what's new. Love it.
It's amazing, and like you just demonstrated, if you know it's in this notebook, you can look just on that, or you can get it to look at a page, or every notebook you've got access to. It's
Yeah,
incredible, folks. That is an incredible tip. That is an
yeah,
OMG. If you didn't know it.
yeah. That is a good one. That is a good one. Whilst we're here, then find by author. And again, I
Uh-huh.
don't think that one's used enough. So it could be, for example, I've come back. I may have just been on holiday. It could be that it was just earlier that day. And I'll say, Mark, have you done X, Y, and Z? And you go, yes, of course I've done it. And I'll say why. And you'll go, I can't do that, can I? It's not PC.
So don't worry about it, Kirsty. I'm going to block it out and blow out your face. You can't. You can't. That's the second time you can't. Just carry on.
So I would go to you, where is it? And you'll go, well, I did it earlier, just look. I think, oh. So what we can do now is we can also find by author. So if I click on to find by author, what that will do is to give you all of the authors within that notebook. Now, at the moment, this is only my notebook, my personal notebook, but I can, if I want to, go and search in all notebooks. And then what I can do then is see everybody who's been contributing to that notebook here on the right hand side. And you literally just click onto their name or click onto the expand arrow, and then it will show you everything they've done. Click onto anything on there and it will take you to that section, to that page within that notebook.
Yeah. I've got
I
nothing to
like
add to
that
that.
one.
Amazingly,
Yeah, it's
it's
good.
fantastic. Those few tips there are just brilliant.
And then very last one, because apparently you want this one included as well, is if I go back to my insert ribbon up here, you should see roughly in the middle, you've got date, time, date and time. What you can do is you can click anywhere in your notebook and you can click, for example, onto date. Obviously, you've got time, or you have date and time. And what you like, well, I'll let you explain
Okay,
why you like that, Mark.
okay, folks. So sometimes I like to do that. I like to insert the date and the time of when I'm doing something in the title of the page, a bit like what Kirsty showed you earlier. To do that, or if I'm just making notes about what people are saying, and I'm trying to carefully make notes what to do. I just pop the date and time or date and time all the time, and then put the note next to it. I just find it just a really quick way just to keep track of when something happened.
Well, excellent.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is what I think. It is exactly what I think. So,
I thought while you're doing that,
am I
your stickers.
am I getting like workplace bullied with memes now, am I? So if you can't get a word in, you're going to stick that in instead. Go
Mm.
on. What we got?
It's got stickers. I
Okay.
thought I'd just show
Yeah,
stickers.
they're
It's there.
fun. Yeah,
But
I like that for sort of fun kind of stuff. Although in
yeah,
the organisation you're in, folks, you might find that they banned the fun. So I work with I work with some organisations that had a fun police have got a bit carried away.
yeah, and I did have some feedback, and this is no word of a lie. This is hand on heart. Last week I had some feedback from a person. It was anonymous because it comes in anonymous, so I don't know if it's a woman or man, but saying that they've lived 60 years without emojis and we don't need them.
Uh-huh. How were they before computers came along?
I don't
Do we need
know.
those as well?
I don't
Well,
know. But hey
the
ho.
workplace is, you know what? I'm gonna bring that up actually. The workplace has evolved, and we spend so much time by ourselves now, working from home or open plan offices, that it just brings a bit of humanity into the workplace. I don't know why anyone would object to it, but it takes all sorts, doesn't it? Maybe don't we? Is that for my benefit? Is just stop. I tell you what, I do. I work with one. You might know who these are, Kirsty. One group where they don't even like these smiley faces or the frowny faces. You know, the reactions to messages and Teams because of them being misinterpreted one day in the future.
Yeah.
So some places are quite strict. Anyway, I'm going to stop monkeying around with my opinions, and you're going to crack on.
Well, obviously, I'm concerned about time, but the only other one I would say is, which again,
Actually,
this
this
is a
four or
big
5 minutes has got.
topic.
Well, I was just looking at the counter over on the software. This 4 or 5 minutes has got out of hand. See,
Yeah,
it's
let's do one quick
obviously your
one.
fault.
Your fault. So in this one, all I'm going to just show you is email page. This is quite handy.
Yeah.
So if you have created something, you've created your minute notes, you've created actions, agendas, whatever the case may be, what you can do, and obviously for me, going forward is more Teams and Outlook, but occasionally you might need to forward this page into Outlook. So what you can do is you can choose email page, and if I click onto email page, that will literally email a page.
Yeah.
And you should see that information, but you're going to blur out my email address,
Of course,
obviously.
yeah. So I really like that, Kirsty. It might be folks that you've got somebody who hasn't got access to the meeting notes, hasn't got access to anything, and you want to send this, you want to just send your meeting notes to them, or you might have a laggard or someone who's just you're getting up to speed with the new way of working, who simply needs to have it emailed to them. Or an
Yeah,
external person. I think that's a great, and also you can edit stuff on there. There's something in there that's a bit sensitive or a bit internal. You can still edit that page, can't you?
you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that's it really, because I'm concerned you've just gone on and on and on.
Banging on, Kirsty. That's,
Yeah,
we
that's
we
true.
call we called it Mark and Kirsty banging on about Microsoft 365 for a reason. What do you reckon, mate? I think we're done.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, folks, thank you for watching another video. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them in the notes section underneath the video. Please subscribe, and hopefully we will see you next time.
Thanks, all.